Season 45, war number 2, and we are up against TCN. And this time my team will be Shuri, Kate Bishop, and Spider-Ham. Not the rank 3 though, because at this point in time I didn't have him yet. And now I'm taking Path 5 in Section 1, Path 2 in Section 2, Kindred, Darkhawk and Mojo mini-bosses, as well as both of the mini-bosses there on the left side, being Mangog and Chavez. I will be taking most of these fights with Kate Bishop, unsurprisingly, and then Spider-Ham is working as a substitute to Silk, who has been banned every war this season. Starting off this war, we have a Morbius on the ebb and flow knockdown and right back at it nodes, and I'm taking the fight with Kate Bishop. I went ahead and used an advanced power boost to start the fight off with a bar of power, just to get my cold snap rolling early on, which does speed things up quite a bit. The boost isn't necessary, but it makes these Kate Bishop fights so much faster and simpler to deal with that I don't really see a reason not to use the boost. Though I gotta be a little bit careful that I don't run out of them, since some fights are not exactly safe without it, so I probably shouldn't be using them for easy fights such as these first two. Now next up here we have a Killmonger on the even flow, knockdown and heavy hitter nodes. The game plan here is the exact same as it was for the previous fight. I just gotta get in, drop my special ones for the cold snaps and let them do the work. Now this Killmonger is a 7-star, so he's very likely gonna be low sig, so the reverberation damage should not be that high. Even then, I will do my best to make sure he has no power when I trigger the reverb, and I managed to do that pretty much perfectly here, and as you can see, whenever I hit him, I take basically no damage. The reverb is based on Killmonger's power meter at the start of activation, so if he is at a 0 or close to it, when reverb triggers, it will deal no damage, or at least close to no damage, for the whole duration of it. Controlling Killmonger's power is the, well, maybe not the simplest way, but it is a way to deal with the reverb using basically any champion. Now next up we have a Korg on the personal space placebo and centrifuge knockdown nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Kate Bishop as well. I still have the advanced power boost active, so all I gotta do is just get the rock shield down before throwing it, just to avoid any of those rock thorns damage bursts, because I really don't want to be wasting potions. Getting them down early on was simple enough due to Korg's AI playing nice for once, and now the cold snaps are just melting him, and this fight is essentially over. One special one from Korg and down he goes in just about 30 seconds, no damage taken at all. Next up we have a Domino on the personal space placebo, EMP modifications and prey on the weak node. And while this fight is not too difficult to take with Shuri, it is not exactly risk-free either. The personal space placebo node will be giving Shuri those placebo buffs here, and whenever those expire, Domino will gain a burst of power from the prey on the weak node. And if the AI decides to be annoying and not throw their specials, it is very possible for Domino get to 3 bars of power here, and if that happens, it's basically up to RNG whether or not you are dead, even if you run an invulnerability boost like I do here. If the special 3 inflicts that crit bleed on you, well, good luck, you're probably not gonna survive it. But since there is that chance that you don't get the bleed on the special 3, it is still worth using an invulnerability boost here, just in case, like I did here. Other than that, as long as Domino's AI decides to play nice and throw those specials, the fight is fairly simple to take, and, well, this time around she went down without any issues. Next up we have a Kindred on the power snack and one too many hits nodes, and I am taking this fight with Spider-Ham. Originally I was planning on using Kate Bishop, but then I thought about it for a moment and I figured that Spider-Ham should be able to take this fight down pretty easily as well. Now, while that Dread Aura from Kindred's heavy attack is active, he becomes very aggressive, so baiting specials from him should not be a problem. But his heavy bias is also something that is still to this day very annoying to deal with, and I did get caught by one there, consuming my indestructible boost. That's fine though, Kindred doesn't hit too hard, so I should survive a combo or two if I keep making more mistakes like I already have. Now at this point his health bar is pretty low, all I gotta do is bait one more special with those power stings up and he should drop down to the root phase. But for whatever reason he decides that he doesn't want to throw a special. Instead he keeps spamming those heavies, waiting for every single one of my power sticks to fall off before he finally throws the special too. Now, as annoying as that was, at the very least it doesn't really mean anything. I just lost a little bit of time, but I have no risk of dying here. I trigger the root phase here, then just cancel it with my special 2, and the fight is done. And in hindsight, Kate Bishop would have been faster in the end, but if I had played it a little bit better and Kindred's AI wasn't being annoying, I think Spider-Ham should have been able to do that very quickly as well. Then this fight right here is a Darkhawk on the One Eye Open and Make a Stand mini-boss node, and this is a fight that we were a little bit worried about, but thinking about it for a bit, I figured that Kate Bishop should be able to do this just fine. I start with a special 1 to knock him down with an advanced power boost, and now with the cold snap on and the protection down, I go ahead and keep hitting into Darkhawk's block to keep the cold snap paused and letting it do all the work. After a knockdown, Darkhawk triggers his shield mode, and while that is active he has a chance to auto block you, which does trigger parry, and any blocked hits will inflict damage to your attacker. However, that damage can be bypassed with the decay tactic, so with all those wither debuffs on the opponent, you can completely just ignore it and pound into his block as much as you want. However, do keep in mind that the auto block does trigger the parry, and don't try to hit him directly while it's up, otherwise you're gonna get hit like I did there. Next time I'm taking the fight, I will definitely keep that in mind. Here we have a Mojo on the Hazard Shift, Incinerate and Shock node, along with Aggression Prowess, and I am taking this fight with Kate Bishop. Now, this fight is fairly simple, and Mojo is a Sugar Pill defender, so Kate Bishop will be inflicting those wither debuffs on him constantly, making the Hazard Shift node basically non-existent. Also, with Mojo's anti-life field, you don't have to worry about dexing anything. If you get the degen on you, it will do nothing so long as you have those withers on. Which you will, unless for whatever reason you decides to not make any contact with him for a pretty long amount of time. All that's left is just throwing your own special ones and letting the code snaps do the work like usual. Now, one thing to keep in mind when taking this fight is that there is also the insult to injury node, which can prevent your parries from working due to all those debuffs on you from the Hazard Shift node. Now in this fight that didn't come into play, I simply just missed a parry and ate a combo, which is gonna cost me a potion or two once again. Very annoying, but I mean, that's just my own mistake, I gotta pay for it. And then, next up we have a Mangog on the Aspect of Evolution mini-boss node, and I am taking this fight with Spider-Ham. And this is a fight that I have taken before, and I'm trying to use the same strategy here as I did last time and failed. Now, Essentially, I will be using an invulnerability boost here and trying to bait special 3s on purpose with as many power stings on the opponent as I can get. Spider-Ham's power sting damage scales up based on how many bars of power the opponent used when they threw their special, so baiting a special 3 will get you the biggest burst possible. However, Mangog, being Mangog, he decides to throw that special 2 immediately as he gets it. And of course, trying to punish it, I got parried and I ate up all 3 hits of the indestructible boost. And now I have no choice but to bait other specials than the special 3. Which in itself is fine, but I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to use my strategy that I've been wanting to use here for quite some time now, but even then, the fight goes down without any bigger problems. I did eat some hits, but that's to be expected at this point. I've been making a lot of mistakes this season already, and this is only war number 2. Now let's just hope that I can close out this final fight of the war without too many mistakes. And this fight here is on America Chavez on the Conflictor, Combat Deja Vu Prowess and Prowess Puncture Miniboss node, and I will be taking it with Kate Bishop. The fight itself is pretty easy, all I gotta do is get the slow up and then just bait and punish special 1s. However, I mess up, I bait the special 1 and trigger Dex before I got a slow up, so now, of course, she triggers the Unstoppable on that first Dex. Then naturally I do the same exact thing again, and of course she triggers another Unstoppable. I also went ahead and accidentally swapped my arrows, so I had to quickly cycle back to my code snaps so that I can get my damage rolling instead of a useless tranquilize debuff here. Now at this point the fight should be under control because I have the slow up as well as the code snaps taking damage, so now just bait and punish special 1s and that should be all there is to it. A very chaotic start to the fight, but I did manage to turn it around without any bigger or worse consequences. Didn't even eat any damage to be fair, so I can't be too mad at that. Though I gotta be more careful with those tactic defenders, because the Unstoppable is nothing to play around with. As for the results, we did end up winning the war 4-1. We only died a single time as an alliance, which is a fantastic result considering the horrible start we had last war.